This is a review of our brand new next Double New England IPA that's being released. It's called Neptunian Family. Now this was a name that I've been holding in my pocket for at least a year. As you know, I like to read science articles and I go through the Google News in the science section, read articles. I get a lot of my name inspiration from those. This was one of those. And it's not just a beer with a name attached to it, but it actually represents the name Neptunian Family. When I go into what does that mean, it's actually a significant change in how we are hopping this beer as opposed to all of our other Double New Englands. Because most of our Double New Englands up until this beer, we use the same hops in the whirlpool as we do in the dry hopping. And those hops are, kind of in the same percentage relative to each other. So if we're using 3 hops in the whirlpool and dry hop, we're going to split them evenly, 33%, 33%, 33% between all of those. This represents a change in that we are using completely different hops in the whirlpool as we do in the dry hops, and then their ratios between each other are totally different. And that's kind of what the name signifies, Neptunian Family. If you look close at it, you've got this, interstellar collision, which with a bunch of different sized, ejection asteroids coming off of it. That kind of represents the hopping, different sizes, different fractions, different times, totally different. And this came from an event that happened in our solar system when it was getting formed. So outside of the orbit of Neptune, you have a place called the Kuiper Belt. It's like the asteroid belt, but it's bigger. And this is where all of the early solar system forming objects lay now dormant. It's just a debris field. So experts aren't sure whether it was 100 million years ago or up to 1 billion years ago, but a planet-sized object like Pluto slammed into another one. It ejected all of this matter, and they eventually formed orbits outside of Neptune in the Kuiper Belt. And astronomers have been tracking these objects now and using a whole lot of math, retracing how they formed up to, hundreds of millions of years ago, what exactly happened. And so this is the name that they put with these objects, the Neptunian Family, because they're outside of the Neptunian orbit. This is a family of trans-collisional objects from an impact that ejected a bunch of matter hundreds of millions of years ago. So, kind of cool if you're a science geek. So the stats on this beer. Well, it has been released in distribution about a week ago. You will see it's got 14 ratings on Untapped. It's currently at a 4.53. By the time you look at it, it'll be reset to something else. But that is pretty significant because usually when it hits distribution first, these are not fanboy at the taproom ratings. These are just, random distribution, people that pick it up at a store. So that's pretty positive. We've been focusing on a lot of things to improve our beer. We purchased a turbidity meter months ago. We're trying to hold the haze better and better. And this is actually our head brewer Carl's first beer. He hasn't been with us a full year yet. First beer where we took off the restrictor plates to the brewery, and it's like, this is the Double New England we need made. It needs to be 8%. Everything else is up to you. So he went with that, and this is a super hazy beer. It's holding up well so far. We're actually even letting these beers just settle in the tank a little bit more to keep that pithiness down, so it's a nice creamy mouthfeel, no bitterness. It's just the hop flavor and aroma. So we are making some big changes beginning to this beer and going forward. And also our 3 Legends. That's been back and forth hazy, somewhat clear, whatever. So this current batch of Legends is a haze bomb. So let's check it out. What are the hops in this? So what did we do differently? So we've got Nelson and Talus in the Whirlpool in varying amounts, not equal. And we have African Queen, Sabro, and Southern Passion in the dry hop in different amounts. Oh, I already get the berry. This is a very berry aroma and flavored beer. Pineapple, berries, kiwis. And it's holding its haze awesomely. So that is super smooth. A lot of times when we make Double New Englands, all that hop matter that's in there, the dry hopping, you get this pithy bitterness initially in the first 3 to 4 weeks. And some beers are different depending on the hops, how much are in the dry hop part, and you just gotta let it sit and settle, and that pithiness will go away. And we did that. We gave this beer the perfect amount of time. It is super smooth. You don't have the bitterness like a regular IPA, but you just have all the hop goodness. So this is this week's release. Cheers, Carl. Done a great job. We will keep you for another week. Food pairings: ceviche, lobster bisque, charcuterie, and cheese pairings, sharp cloth-bound cheddar. So very excited on this beer. We hope to see it.
Oh no, we understand.
No, yeah,
I understand very much.
don't record that. I messed up.
Sorry, I'm chopping heads off. Don't worry.
I'm trying to make